everyone, my name is Daisy Lee. I am from the HR board for Leadership Scholar. Today, I'd like to introduce you to an amazing speaker. He is funny, determined, and a great storyteller. He will give you some great advice and actionable ideas that will help you stay motivated during this coronavirus pandemic. He went from a failing student at UC Berkeley to earning a bachelor's degree in math and a master's degree in business administration. He is well known for the She Bathing song, later becoming a motivational speaker, then finally achieving his dream of performing with Ricky Martin in 2018. Please give a warm welcome to William Hung.
Have you ever thought about trying something new in your life? As I was growing up, I tried many things in life. I couldn't settle for just staying as a normal student. I remember when I was 10 years old, that's when I started singing karaoke with my parents. Then, I also loved video games. I remember when I was a kid, I would stand in line in Hong Kong to play Super Mario Brothers. And whenever I lose a life, I had to go back all the way to the end of the line. And I hated it. So I was thinking, like, how could I beat that game? There's no money involved. There's no strategy videos you can watch on YouTube, not like right now. But somehow I figured out a way to beat the game without losing a life, making all the other kids standing around jealous. And I was so proud of myself. It felt much better than getting straight A's in school. And then when I went into college, I thought I was good in math with science. But I struggled during my first years, and I couldn't seem to find a way out. Then one of my roommates introduced me to this game called Final Fantasy X from PlayStation 2. I couldn't get away from it. I was so engaged in that new world. I spent hundreds of hours, and I got every single reward. I got this platinum trophy. I felt like that was an alternate space that I could excel in where I could not excel in real life. But why? Why is that? Then, a couple of days later, I saw this poster for a school talent show at the Clark Kerr dormitories. I figured, why not? There's nothing to lose. So I started watching and studying music videos from Ricky Martin's She Bangs. I learned all the dance moves and how to sing like him, and I just went for it. I didn't expect anything. To my surprise, I won. The grand prize was a DVD player. A few days later, I heard on Fox News, American Idol auditions were coming over to San Francisco. I couldn't wait to get in line. So I got in line with 3,000 other hopefuls at a huge baseball park. Then, as I was waiting in line, I saw how hundreds of people only got a brief moment to sing before the American Idol staff members told them to go home. But somehow, they let me sing over a minute, and they let me through. They told me to come back the next day. The next day, I sang in front of the producers, and they let me through again. At that point, there's less than 100 people left waiting to see Randy, Paula, and Simon. For those of you that don't know, American Idol, it started like 15, 17 years ago. I was on season 3. And the judges I was waiting to see back then were Randy Jackson, Paula Abdul, and Simon Cowell. I wasn't sure what to expect, but as soon as I began my audition, Randy held a white sheet of paper to cover up his face and giggled throughout the entire audition. Paula was smiling and staring at me, and I kept going. She bangs, she bangs. Oh, baby, when she moves, I go crazy. Then Simon said, thank you, thank you. You can't sing, you can't dance, so what do you want me to say? I already gave my best. I have no regrets at all. Paula said, good for you. That's the best attitude yet. I said, I had no professional training. And Simon goes, no, but that's a surprise in a century. Oh well, I just thought I had my backpack ready, going back to be a normal student, not a big deal. And then 4 months later, Fox broadcasted my audition. And I was just watching this audition from my dorm room. I didn't know what to expect. Right after they finished showing the audition, I got like hundreds of emails from people I didn't know. And a couple of them came from Entertainment Tonight and Ryan Seacrest show. I was like, what? Seriously? And then the next day, I went back to class, pretended to be a normal student, like nothing happened. Then, one of my professors showed my audition towards the end of my class. And then I was trying to exit the classroom, and I was mobbed by the students. They said, William, could I take a picture with you? May I have your autograph? And from that day, I know that my life could never be normal again. But still, a lot of people thought it was an easy decision for me to become an entertainer. I got like 8 million, one of my fans created a website for me called williamhung.net. It got like over 8 million hits. And then the record company called me up and they were gonna give me like $25,000 record contract. Who in the right mind as a college student wouldn't say yes to this? But it took me a while because I heard 2 people in my life gave me very different opinions that I cared most about. I had a friend, his name was James, back in the engineering program. He told me, William, this is once in a lifetime opportunity. You got to do it. You got to do it now. And then I had my pastor, Manny. He told me, William, just forget about it. Don't make things worse. Just go back, finish school, let people forget about you. Nothing happened, not a big deal. And I was processing these 2 dots in my mind. I was like, wow, are you serious? Are you my pastor? You really say that to me? And then I heard the fans, they were loving me. And then I heard the news and the critics, they were saying like, William Hung is the worst singer ever. William Hung portrays the biggest Asian stereotypes. And some of my classmates said, go back to school. Rumor, ridicule, rejection. But I had a choice. Do I want to live my life with courage, or do I want to hide myself in fear? What really bothered me and pushed me over the edge was when someone decided to write the news, and you could still see on the internet, that William Hung committed suicide. I know that's not true. I'm speaking right in front of you today. That cannot be true. But that's what pushed me over the edge. I feel like I can't just sit around and let people write their version of my story. I feel that I need to take control of my narrative. That's why I went forward with my entertainment business. Even though it might not be my true passion. And for 4 years, I was living my dream life. I getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars. I get to travel all over the world. I perform in some of the biggest stages you could think of, like the Rose Bowl for 60,000 people. I did have fun, but then something wasn't right. How did I know that? Because a year later, one time, I was invited to perform for a casino in Reno, Nevada. And somehow, one of my friends introduced me to the game of poker. It was like a 1-2 limit, like a couple $100. And then somehow I got lucky and won a couple $100. But somehow I was happier to win that couple $100 compared to making over $400,000 from first year from the entertainment career. Why? What happened? What's wrong with my lizard brain? It turns out, like one of my friends pointed out to me, I excel in life in a creative way. So think about what makes you wake up every day. What makes you show up to today's webinar? After that, a lot of things happened in my life. After the first 4 years, my entertainment career slowed down. And then I had to deal with reality again. Do I want to keep going with showbiz, or did I want to get a stable job? Now raise your hand if you want to go for stable job. Showbiz. I chose the safe route, so I decided to finally finish school because I had to put school on hold back then. But I finally got my degree, bachelor's degree in math, and then later on my master's degree in business. So what I thought was like, I was just, okay, well, maybe I made enough money. I'm not in a hurry. So I just want to get a stable government job. I did. I worked for the sheriff's department for 2 years and then the public health department for 6 years. But that's so far from the American Idol stage that I had. And then what else in my life? It's also not about the money because I realized the work I was doing, it was valuable, but I wasn't excited. I feel that all those administrative tasks and all the reports, all the database that I could create, it wasn't for me. It wasn't something that only William Hung can do. So the question that kept coming up in my mind was, what is something that only William Hung can do? So insert your name in it. What is something that only you can do? It doesn't matter what your major is. It doesn't matter what career you have or what business you create. But what is something that only you can do and you actually want to do? So that's what got me into speaking. I started speaking for Toastmasters about 8 years ago because I needed a break from reading all those depressing police reports about rape, murder, burglary, just to extract crime data. And what I found was that it was like a fun speaking karaoke, because what's unique about Toastmasters is that every single week, there's a portion called Table Topics. And what you do is that each person will get picked on to speak about 2 minutes for a random question. They'll ask you like, what's your favorite vacation? What do you see yourself doing 5 years from now? Like generic questions like that. And then you get to express yourself. And I really enjoyed that. It's like, wow, I have a voice again in front of a community. So as time went along, I realized that maybe I could do something more, because about 3 years ago, one of my friends reminded me from my success from the first album, Inspiration. She really liked how in between the tracks, I had inspirational messages in between the tracks. I know I'm not the most talented singer. I'm just gonna admit it and put it out there. But somehow it still sold over 250,000 copies and it became the #1 independent album on Billboards. So mysterious. It's like, I don't get it. I didn't ask for this. But it happened. It happened in a good way. I'm always grateful. I'm not gonna exchange it for anything else. But now that I look at my whole life, I'm just starting to see the direction I want to go. So as of January 2020, I finally decided to quit my job from the public health department. And of course, your next natural question is, what are you gonna do now? I decided that I'll be a professional poker player. You're probably thinking, wow, William, you're freaking crazy. What? Did you just say professional poker player? Yeah, my parents had the same reaction initially. They were like, are you crazy? You have this stable government job and you suddenly quit? Why am I wasting so much money on you? Why am I raising you up to finish college? I told them, it's not about the money. It's about excelling in my own creative way. It's about creating my dream vision that's much bigger than poker. Because poker taught me many valuable life lessons. And there are 3 lessons that I want to share with you today. Number 1, take personal responsibility for your own progress. It sounds simple. It is, but it's so hard to do. Because I went through 2 marriages and divorces that didn't work out in my favor. I married the wrong girls at the wrong time for the wrong reasons. My parents wanted me to get married by the age of 30. So I was trying to figure out how to find the right girl. And my dad was so desperate, he took the first step. You know what he did? He pretended to be me on an online dating app. And then once he found the right girl, he told me like, William, you gotta go talk to her, don't talk to her. And I don't know what got into me. I did talk to her. I got to know her for a few months. And then I flew myself to China to get married after just 1 week of dating her. Can you believe it? First love, first sight. Maybe that does exist. But yeah, but that didn't work out so well. And the second marriage also didn't work out so well, even though I spent more time dating her and getting to know her as a person, I wasn't clear about the life that I wanted at the time. And eventually, poker was my eventual undoing because she just hates it. She just doesn't like me playing poker. So maybe I wish I knew that earlier. Yeah, so and then number 2 is to avoid comparing yourself with others. Yes, I know that we always want to learn and grow from other people, but it's also easy. There's a fine line because if we always compare yourself to the very top, people it makes like millions and billions of dollars. You will feel that you're never good enough. And I could tell you that now I got past it. Living through it, I got past it. I'm much happier with myself because I'm not the richest person. And even going into today, I have some self-doubts about myself. It's like, why am I the best person to share this message with you today? It's because it's not about making the most money. It's about living with joy and purpose. And finally, always find the best way to help others. When you think about your story and your experience, what can you do to share, to help others? The way I share with you. Yes, I embrace my journey as a professional poker player because I know it's part of my new journey. It won't be my final destination. So whatever your passion and your talent is, don't be afraid to share that with the world, but do it in a way that's caring. Do it in a way that's valuable for your audience and people that's listening to you. So with that, that's my framework for you to stay motivated during the pandemic. I know that everyone is going through a difficult time. You know, we locked up, we can't do what we want. Hey, we all go through the same thing, but one blessing, sometimes it's a blessing, right? The biggest blessing that we have right now is we have the time and space to think about the life that we want to create. So what questions do you have for me? Okay, so the first person is Carlos. His question is, why should we join a Toastmasters club? Carlos, Toastmasters club is a educational platform where you get to practice speaking and leadership skills every single week. It's primarily focused on communication because we all need to communicate. It doesn't matter what you love to do. It turns out that we cannot avoid communication. So, and it's the only platform I know where you can get like free not free, but constructive feedback for nominal, very low cost. I think the membership is like $45 every 6 months. It's like, you know, you get a chance to practice your content in front of a live audience. That's so valuable. What other programs or groups will let you do that without, you know, risking being judged or ridiculed? Jericho says, what helped you stop comparing yourself to others? I would say what helped me the most is having great friends and mentors in my network. They told me that it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. And then another one of my mentors told me that it's about waking up every single day excited about your life. So, you know, as long as you can sustain yourself, keeping your lights on, your food and everything to take care of your basic needs, money is not the most important thing. It's more important to focus on what feels right in your heart. And once that happens, I feel like, okay, I don't need to compare myself to Tony Robbins. Because no, I would love to be Tony Robbins. Who doesn't? But that's what helped me. So maybe that will help you as well. Next question we got from Brian. Brian is saying, what is your perspective of going back to college, different from your first experience? So Brian, you know, from the first time I attended college, my heart wasn't into it. I didn't want to be there, but I didn't want to bring my parents shame. That's what it was. Like if I didn't go to college and say I'm gonna be a professional video gamer, I think my parents would choke me to death. So, but now that I'm more mature, I look at life the right way. I would say the second when I decided to go back to college, it was because I wanted to. And that's the powerful thing about the mindset. I could tell you that I'm not the best college student. I was actually about to flunk out of Berkeley. My parents got this letter of probation saying, "Oh my God, what are you doing in Berkeley? Are you just spending all day partying with your friends? What's wrong with you?" Yeah, so it's more like in your mind, you decide that you want something in life. Because that's the power of decision. Because a lot of times we get trapped in the how, right? How can I do it, right? Do I just study more? Do I show up at specific study groups? Do I take more online courses, whatever? But really, it comes down to deciding that you want something, and then the how will come to you. All right, so next question. Sherry, let's see what we got here. Sherry says, living a life that follows passion may be unstable. How do you balance your decisions while planning a retirement that will sustain yourself when you are older? I love this question, Sherry, because I also coming from a place of chasing dreams in an authentic way. And so I'm not living in la la land, okay? So I saved up the money that I earned over the years from my entertainment career. And then I still kept my government job for a long time, like you heard during my speech, like 8 years. And then the way I approached it was that I pursued poker as a side hustle last year for many, many hours. I put in over 1,500 hours just to prove that I could do it. And then once I got past that the hurdle, then I can say to myself, okay, now I can make it. So yeah, so that's how you do it. For any of you that wants to pursue a side hustle, go for it. Do it on the side now. Test it. See what happens. Right? You either win or you learn. And then in terms of planning a retirement, I would say that I would say always save some money on the side. Right now, based on this unstable world, I keep most of my cash in cash, and I'm pretty conservative. I'm not gonna just gamble on my future. I'm going to gamble on my future per se, but I'm not gonna just gamble away my money recklessly. There's a big difference between the two, right? Because there's one side where okay, you don't want to take any risk, but on the other side, we do need to take some calculated risks so that you can create the life you want. All right, next question. Christian says, "What is your end goal for poker? How do you want to be in the World Poker Tournament? Just play in local tournaments, or just play for fun?" Hey, Christian. So I think the end goal for poker is to I have a dream a couple of days ago before I show up for this webinar that I want to create some kind of app to help people improve their daily habits. So I'm not sure the how yet. I'm sure the how will come to me. But I have it because I saw this app called Habitica, where it's a role-playing game to help people improve their daily habits. So they get rewards for doing the task, and then you get like points for your magic, for your character, all that good stuff. So I think it's a really cool app. A lot of companies and colleges are already using it, but I think that maybe I can create something even more engaging because I love the idea, but I wasn't engaged in it. So yeah, I'm not sure what will come out of it, but I definitely want to create that bigger impact. Next question. Logan says, "Have you made any famous friends through your entertainment career? LOL, and how are you spending your time during quarantine?" All right, I would say that I did meet Carrie Underwood, Simon Cowell, Paula Abdul, and Randy Jackson multiple times. But I would not say they were close friends. I just see them like five or six times throughout my last 15 years. So not really. I would just say in terms of spending my time during quarantine, the biggest thing I've been working on is I'm working on my mindset. And I'm not saying that everybody needs to do this. I don't think it's not necessarily right for you. But I decided to invest in a mindset coach because I could afford it. Right now is the best time to do it. So for the next 4 months, I'm going to really reframe the way I look at my life. Like I told you, one of the power of the decision, right? Decide that you want to do something, and then the how will come to you. So yeah. Next question. Holston says, "Hi, William. I'm a big fan of poker myself. Could you please elaborate on what inspired you to choose the path of professional poker player?" Like I mentioned, Holston, I wanted to look for something where I could excel in my own creative way. It's not just the rules of the society, rules telling you, oh, you need to play this way, you need to do this, you need to do that. Now, with that being said, poker is a game of math. There's a lot of math involved. So it's not just doing some random strategy and hope that it works. There's a lot of testing, there's a lot of studying involved. But that's what I love about it, right? It's because poker is very unique in that it's not just one right answer. There are multiple right answers that will produce similar amount of expected value. That's the beauty of that game. Next question. Do you have any advice for picking the right grad school? This comes from Josh. Josh, for the right grad school, I'm a big believer of working with the right people. When I did my grad school for Marist College in Business Administration, it really was the people. It wasn't because they have a big name compared to UCLA or anybody else. It's because someone from the sheriff's department, they've been through it themselves. They love the program, and I love the program because what I love about them, it was that they doing more simulation-based projects. It's not just taking tests and getting a score. I love the real life interaction. And then there's but the hard part was that there's a lot of essay writing, and I wouldn't say I love the essay writing. I remember I had to do this huge 50-page paper on the researching on company, and then no, not surprisingly, the company that I researched was Amaya. It's the company that runs PokerStars right now. So yeah, it wasn't easy, but that's why we focused on, ask them about their experience, what they love about it, what they didn't love about it, and then make a decision from there. Mona, let's see. Your question says, despite what critics told you and people that didn't understand your vision, what kept you going and focused on your passion? Mona, I love this question. So I would say what allows me to be much more focused on my passion is finding your spiritual why. Why are you waking up each day? What makes you excited? And I just recently discovered that my spiritual why is to help people try something new without being judged or ridiculed. Very simple. So figure out what the spiritual why is. Everybody is slightly different. It needs to feel right for you. And then once you come up with something like that, it's almost like your life mission statement. Like every day, why are you waking up? Why are you pursuing your dreams? So yeah, so find that. Diana, let's see. What do you look for in a relationship? In the last 5 years, what new beliefs, behaviors, or habit has most improved your life? Diana, what I look for now in a relationship is to have the similar values or vision. I want somebody that has a growth mindset. I want someone that has how to say it, abundance mindset. So I want somebody that wants to grow. They're not satisfied with where they are. I want someone that's generous. I mean, when I say generous, it doesn't mean that you do everything for free. Okay, don't take it that way. When I say generous, it means that you're not pinching pennies when we have a nice meal together. We're not pinching pennies when we go on a nice trip together. So I want that person. I also want that ultimate. It's basically the way. It's also aligned with my own beliefs, right? The things that I'm sharing, I believe in those things. I believe that I can create more money. I don't need to freak out just because of this pandemic. And so, yeah, I am doing that, right? And it's not just poker. I found after Cameo, that's giving me a nice side income. And just to give a short summary of that, the way that one works is it's an app. People could download on the phone, and then hundreds of people request inspirational videos or messages from me for $40. And then I would get a lot, and it's not my end goal. It's not my final destination, but it's a nice source of income. But it's also nice that I'm making an impact on people that are willing to pay for it. Because after all, if somebody is willing to pay for something, it means that I'm delivering something valuable. So yeah, so just be open-minded about those possibilities. What else? Tiffany. It says, what has been the best self-care habit for your personal growth? I love this. So the best self-habit, I have a journal, and I'll show you what I use. It is called the Mastery Journal. So yeah, so you could use any journal system that's out there, but the most important takeaway is that it needs each day. The journal asks me, what am I grateful for? That's the secret. What am I grateful for? So each day, even when things don't go so well, Let's say I have a bad day, I lost thousands of dollars online, whatever, right? It happens, it's part of it. I look at the positive, right? Did I learn something new? Did I have a new speaking opportunity? Did I meet a new cool person in my life? What am I grateful for? You can do the same. All right, Selena saying, when did you decide to be a motivational speaker, and what was the key thing that influenced your decision? Hey Selena, I would say that I decided to be a motivational speaker about 3 years ago. And I was scared, I didn't know where to start. So I reached out to a few friends, and then one of my friends, she's really cool, really nice. She got me set up for a closing keynote for a major annual event. And that was the first time I spoke in front of 300 people. Like the whole room was rocking energy. It was like electric. It was like people they couldn't wait. And it was insane. It was one of the best experiences I had in my life. And I said, wow, how come I couldn't do more of that? And then a couple of years later, I did a TEDx talk for Chula Vista in San Diego. And after I was done, I cried tears of joy. Yeah, I couldn't explain why, but that's what gave me that idea. It's like, wow, if I feel so happy in my heart doing it, and then just to let you know, TEDx, they never pay. It's by rule, right? They don't pay you. So I'm not doing it because of money, but I'm doing it because it feels great. It feels amazing. All right, next question. Maribel says, oh, Huasen, sorry, there's another question. Huasen says, what has been one of your favorite learning experiences from having a personal mindset coach? Huasen, one of the biggest wins I have so far is she helped me discover my spiritual why. And it's something that I knew in my heart over the years. It's not like something that I had no idea, right? Like I help people try something new without being judged or ridiculed. It's something that I believe in. I've been living for the last 16 years. But sometimes you need someone to show you. You need someone to remind you by digging deep into your personal past. So yeah, so that's why I really that's the biggest benefit. Okay, let's see. Maribel, what is she saying? For students that are getting ready to graduate, what are things you advise for them to be aware during the first beginning months? All right, so if you're graduating soon, hopefully you've already done an internship. If not, I would say that definitely looking into doing internship, doing side hustles, doing something on the side where you're demonstrating the value of the work you do for free. You're not doing always for free, but you need to somehow build that credibility, build a trust with people. So I would say that's the most important thing. And then if you need more help with that, and just like looking for a job, always figure out the value that you can bring for the company. I'm not a CEO for a big company at all, but I learned this from my smarter friends. If you need a job, the best way to do it is to always focus on the solution, the problem they are trying to solve. There's usually a reason. If you dig deep enough, they'll tell you, they'll let you know. I remember when I first got hired for the public health department, they hired me because they wanted to build a contract database. I mean, I give you a very simple answer, but I wouldn't have known that, and it's not always easy, right? When you go to show up to this job interview, they're not gonna just tell you that. You have to ask them. You have to dig the answer yourself. So ask them, what are you looking for? What do you want to solve? Who's the ideal candidate? You know, what would your workplace look like 3 months from now? What do you want? What do you want? Right? Get them to tell you. And then you can if it's a good fit, you know. If it's not a good fit, well, maybe it's time to move on to the next offer. All right, next question. How do you overcome your fear of public speaking? Hey Andrew, I would say the best way to overcome your fear is to just believe in the value that you have to offer whenever you speak. If you use the tips that I gave you today, and the 3 tips are taking personal responsibility, avoid comparing yourself with others, and then always finding the best way to help others. When you share from that place in your heart, people will listen. All right, so that's all the, is that all the questions we have? Any other questions? It's been great. These are great questions. Oh, I just got a new one coming in. This question came from Diana. She asked, do you know any other strategies for interview? One of the best ways to handle an interview is to treat it more like a casual conversation. It's not, but let me explain. Imagine you are talking to a friend at a coffee shop. How do you want to have that interaction? Is it like, oh, I am the Excel wizard. I work for company XYZ for the last 5 years. I produce all these amazing things. Please hire me. Is that how you talk to somebody at a coffee shop? Probably not. So think about that, and then it'll come more naturally. I would say the specific tip that you can take away from this: don't overshare your story too much at any one time. For me, as an exception, because I have to give you my background, my framework, and all that, I took almost 20 minutes. 20 minutes is way too long. Nobody has the patience to listen to you for 20 minutes nowadays. It's very hard. So I would say focus on maybe 1 or 2 minutes of talking. Find a way. I mean, you do this in advance. It doesn't happen by chance. You do this because in advance by planning out the answers. I actually helped one of my friends, clients actually. She's interviewing for an engineering job, and I told her, hey, every one of these common questions, like, how did you handle this difficult coworker? How would you handle multiple projects with competing priorities? You should already have an answer in your head. These are so common, right? So you plan those responses in advance. You make sure it's like 1 to 2 minutes long. And what you want to have in it, it should be a specific example. It should be more like a story. Like, oh, I did this project. This is what I went through. This is how I solved the problem. This is the result. There you go. All right. Holson says, do you have any intentional growth strategies for your personal branding? How might we grow our personal brands? I would say, Holson, I don't know if I have any intentional strategies. I go with what I enjoy first. But in terms of being intentional, yeah, I would say my biggest intentional strategy, yeah, I actually do. So my intentional strategy right now is to show up as much as I can for my audience. Like this webinar today, like many webinars coming up. I show up for podcast interviews a lot. I show up at some of my friends' Facebook and Instagram lives. I would say that's the best way to go about it. But I would say that you need to get clear about your life mission first. Because if you don't have that, then you'll feel confused. Like, what am I sharing, right? But now that I have the clarity, I'm not afraid to share with you guys. Next one. Asan says, how does someone keep a growth mindset the older they get? Hey, Asan, I would say that in terms of keeping the growth mindset, look at your life and ask yourself, what else do you want to do? Like, it's always about choosing to grow, right? And it's not. I feel like for me, if I don't grow, I feel like I'm dying inside. It doesn't matter how good I look, how much money I make. If I don't grow, I won't feel satisfied. I'm not happy with my life. There were times where I didn't want to grow because I've been through it myself. So the way I got past it is to just take some time. It's okay to take time for yourself. As recently as this pandemic began back in March, I felt that I wasted 2 weeks playing a video game called Clash Royale. I did nothing but play Clash Royale. It's so stupid. But it's not, but in a way it's not stupid because I'm exploring what's possible. I learned something from it. I realized, okay, well, maybe that's not for me because I'm not serious enough about it. You know, I don't want to be the professional gamer for Clash Royale. I don't want to start my own Twitch channel. It's possible, but I'm not feeling it. That's not in my heart. That's why I put it aside. So, you know, sometimes when you give yourself that room to explore, you might come out way farther ahead. All right, next question. Okay, so Diana, I think this question already addressed, but I'll go ahead and address it again. She asked, what are your top habits and values? Okay, so I bring a different perspective for this question. One of the biggest new habits I developed is called the morning routine. That's right, morning routine. It's so freaking hard for someone like me that now don't have a job to do morning routines. I used to hate it. I used like, oh my God, really? Am I just clocking in, clocking out? But it's so powerful. So like even though if I don't wake up at exact time, I try to wake up around like 9, 8, 9, nothing, no later than 9:30 every morning. And then I would start like, okay, let's hydrate, let's meditate, let's journal, shower, breakfast, whatever, right? Check the news, all that. So by having this consistent routine, you feel more empowered when you need to get your work done. Because the next thing I do is I would set aside like 4 focus sessions each day. That's all I get, 4. And the way my focus sessions work is that I have a 1 hour block for the focus session. So you might want to write this down, okay? These are things that I had to pay a lot to learn. so yeah, so 4 focus sessions. And then for each of the focus session, 15 minutes of work, 10 minutes of break. And then 15 minutes of work, 10 minutes of break. And I only get 4 each day. And you might be thinking, why 4? Why that number? It's not some magic number, but the reason is that number is because you need to make time for your family and friends. You need to make time for your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You need to make time to take breaks and to enjoy life, right? So 4, you might think it's trivial, but it's not. If you can do 4 focus sessions for your studies in your college right now and do it right, I'm sure you all get straight A's. Okay, Maribel, next we got a new question. Are there struggles that you see yourself having during these times that you have to learn to relearn others the morning session? Let me see. Let me see if I understand this question here. Are there struggles that you see yourself having during these times that you have to learn to relearn others? I'm not sure if I get your question here. Let me see. I would say in terms of struggles, I tell you what I struggle with. Sometimes I don't wake up on time. I'm a lizard brain. I'm freaking lazy. I don't want to get up by 9. I just get up at 11 or noon or whatever time I want to get up. But I tell you from experience, that's terrible. Because you know why? Because when I break my morning routine, that's when my day is not productive. It feels and there is research suggesting that our human brains, there are certain times that's optimal for studying. There are certain times that's optimal for doing things, going out, and then relaxing, right? So you know, it's not exact time, but there's a certain time range. So once I realized that, and everybody's different too. What's interesting is that there's no one right answer. There's research suggesting that some people are night owls, right? They are more productive at night, 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm not. I'm not that guy. But you know, figure out what works for you. But then commit to what works for you. Halston says, how many times a week do you have the 4 focus sessions? Every single day. Every single day. Yeah, it's very hard. It's a new habit that I developed recently, but it's been an amazing change in my life. Now I feel like, okay, now I know where my time went. I have a more control over how I spend my time. Diana says, what's my favorite book? My one here, let me show you. One of my favorite books is called Start Ugly by Chris Mitos. So it's not some famous guy, but he's the guy that started like a podfest. And I'll type it in here. Start. There you go. Okay. So yeah, I love reading inspirational books like this. It's like because he shared his personal journey for how he started his podcasting business. And yeah, it's just like anything else in life. Whenever you first start, it could be ugly. It's not. It might not be the prettiest thing. And then you just keep improving, right? Because there's no perfect time. You don't wait until it's perfect to launch something. You just go for it when you feel it's good enough. Any other questions? Wow, so many questions today.
Okay. Hi, William Hung. Oh, this is. Oh, there's another question. Hi, William Hung. This is Daisy again. Thank you for coming and sharing your knowledge with us about how to stay motivated during this pandemic. On behalf of Leadership Scholar, we look forward to having you on campus in the fall to speak about overcoming adversity. Thank you guys for coming to this webinar to hear the wonderful William Hung.
I think Maribel has a question.
Oh.
In the chat.
Okay. Oh yeah, I see it. I see it. All right, Maribel, your question is there online opportunities that you know students can use as opportunity to grow or also earn money? Hey, Maribel, I think there are many opportunities to earn money. So depends on what your talent is. Is it coding? Is it shopping? Now the world is so amazing, right? It's a wonderful world because you could make money doing whatever you love. There's a way to do it. For example, if you love shopping, you could help people do shopping now from TaskRabbit. There's an app for that. And then what happens is that people would request you to go shopping for them so that they pay you. And you know why people want that? Because people don't want to go out. so yeah. So you know whatever problem that you want to work on. On what else is online? Sitting online. Okay. You could also like do it like a one-off. Writing essay for somebody. Creating Excel spreadsheet for somebody. There are services like Fiverr, Designer, what else? Upwork, so many. So there are many ways.
Sorry about that, everyone. Hi, William. This is Daisy again. Thank you for coming out and taking your time to share your knowledge about how to stay motivated during this pandemic. On behalf of Leadership Scholar, we hope to see you again in the fall. We look forward to talk about overcoming adversity. Thank you guys for coming out to this webinar to hear the wonderful William Hung. We hope you take these pieces of advice to help stay motivated. Thank you and be safe, guys.
Thank you.